Today I'm going to talk about the top 5 questions that I get asked on a regular basis. Hi guys, Katie Saywell here, owner and founder of The Dogs Code. www.thedogscode.com is where you'll find us. So we are specialists in Dachshunds, Dachshunds, Dachsies, Doxies, however you want to pronounce them, sausage dogs, the ones with the long bodies and the short legs. Yep, they're the ones. Today I'm going to talk about the top 5 questions that I get asked on a regular basis. Keep watching to find out more. Question number 1. Should I neuter my Dachshund? So there are pros and cons, for and against, whether you should, whether you shouldn't. And what's your reason? What's the reason that you would want to neuter them? Or what's the reason that you would want to keep them entire? The Dachshund Breed Council have done a study, which its findings are interesting to say the least. In very brief, the study suggests that Dachshunds that are under 18 months of age, who are neutered, are more at risk from IVDD. And if you don't know what IVDD is, it's intervertebral disc disease. So it's the spinal problem that lots of Dachshunds do suffer from. So by neutering them early, by neutering them at a vet recommended age of normally 6 months, could put them at risk in later life of IVDD. So that's something to think about. Secondly, full maturity doesn't happen until around 18 months to 2 years. Vets will ask you to neuter, and when I say neuter, it's either spay or castrate. They will ask you to neuter from 6 months. Vets are not breed specific. They generally across the board, that is how they work. If your vet is putting you under any pressure to get your Dachshund neutered, then inform them in a nice, kind and polite way that it's not recommended that they are neutered until 18 months. It's for you as a responsible owner to inform your vet that it's not necessarily the best option at that age. Vets don't know necessarily about breed specifics, so it's for you to inform them of the Dachshund Breed Council findings. However, on the other side of that, if it's a medical reason that they need to be neutered, then fine, it's medical. And medical reasons may be false pregnancies, there may be testicles which haven't descended, things that are going to cause your Dachshund a problem with their health. Reasons not to neuter: if you want to breed. So let's not forget that neutering is the removal of the reproductive organs. It's something that we may want to do. We may want to breed, and that's also fine as well, but we do this responsibly. We look at bloodlines, we do the correct testing, and we look for either Kennel Club registered or assured breeders. Question 2, which is better, a collar or a harness? And should I be using an extendable lead or a flat lead? A collar or a harness first. The really quick answer to this is, if they cannot walk on a loose lead and either the collar's pulling around the neck or a harness is pulling around the body, either one can cause damage. So you've got a collar around the soft part of the neck here in the throat. That can cause damage in itself if it's being pulled and pressure being applied around the neck. And similarly with a harness, if a harness is either incorrectly fitted or your Dachshund is pulling on the lead, it causes pressure around the chest area, around the back, and you'll quite often see an arch in their back where they're pulling on the leads and the harness is actually pulling them back. So the quick answer there is teach a nice, comfortable loose lead walking. Personally, I prefer a collar, but it is really personal preference. There are some really, really good harnesses on the market. We generally recommend for tiny puppies, if you're wanting to keep them on a harness because of that soft area around the necks when they are so young, then that's fine. We recommend doodle bone, which is just small mesh harnesses that they fit over the head and then they just clip once. And then for older dogs, we'd recommend perfect fit. So these can be changed at multiple points. So you can make them bigger or smaller and they fit really nicely. They've got soft padding on the front. They're absolutely fine as well. Always make sure that they have been fitted in them correctly. So Dachshunds quite often have problems under their armpits where there's friction from the harness which causes little sores and burns under their arms, which isn't very pleasant, and that can have a massive impact on their behaviour as well. So just some things to think about there. Second part of this question, so an extendable lead or a flat lead. So an extendable lead would be a plastic handled where the lead comes out and retracts on its own and you can lock it. Or a flat lead is just a straight lead with a clip on one end and a handle on the other. So which one's best? Well, from a training point of view, I would always opt for a flat lead. And my reasoning is this: with the flat lead, you have more control over what's happening with the lead, and the tension isn't constant on either the harness or the collar, making for a more pleasant walk. The downside of extendable leads is that there is always a tension on the lead, so there's always a tension between either the collar or the harness, and as I've previously said, if they can't walk on a loose lead, the pressure that's on either around the neck or around the bodies can cause problems later on. So it's just worth thinking about. And the element of control, if a lead is round your wrist and being held onto, it's less likely that you're going to drop it and they're going to run off. If you drop a extendable lead, they are very easy to drop as well, because you're just holding with your fingers, at the end of your fingers, into the usually a plastic handle. If that goes flying, it makes a noise when it lands on the floor. It can scare your dogs and they can run because they will be chased by the handle if it's not locked. So just a few things to think about there. Question number 3, a bed or a crate? For those of you that know me, for those of you who've worked with me, for those of you that have had training with me, you'll know I am a massive advocate of the crate. But it must be introduced correctly, and it must be positively reinforced, it must be positively associated with good things happening there. We have got a downloadable PDF on our Facebook group or on the website if you want to head over there and download that. In brief, the reason I'm an advocate of the crate is for these reasons. It mimics a den area. You can cover them over and make them nice and dark. They're a safe place that your Dachshund can go to at any point that they choose to, as long as it's accessible. It's a safe place. So when you've got visitors round, when it's hustle and bustle over the seasonal periods of Christmas or Easter or whatever it is that you may celebrate in your house, having people over for birthdays or generally just a busy household, your Dachshund can take themselves away to a safe place, out of the way, and make that decision to do that. The door on the crate doesn't have to be shut. A door on a crate can remain open, giving them freedom to have a certain area. The reason I'm an advocate of them is these reasons. Once they are crate trained, they will love it. It will be their safe place. If they are ever ill or injured, they will be kept in a crate at the vets, or very similar crated environment. If they haven't been used to that environment, that will add to their stress while being kept over at the vets. If they need to be rested on crate rest because of a back injury or any other injury or illness and need to be confined to a space, a crate is ideal for that. However, I'm not averse to beds. If you want your Dachshund to sleep in a bed, that's absolutely fine. If you want them to sleep in your bed, that's absolutely fine as well. They're your Dachshund. It's up to you what you choose to do with them and what you feel more comfortable doing. There is no harm with placing a bed into a crate and having a nice comfy crated area. That's what it should be. It should be a nice comfy space for them to go. Have a think about it. Download the PDF. I hope that answers the question. If you have got any questions, pop them in below and we'll come back to you. The third question I get asked all the time is, should I use puppy pads or not for toilet training? It's personal preference. It depends on your lifestyle. It depends whether you're going to work. It depends if there's somebody in to monitor and control and manage what's going off in the house. Toilet training will take longer with using puppy pads. You're in effect teaching them that it's okay to go on a pad. You're then teaching them to go outside to go to the toilet. By all means use them. The alternative is that you don't use a puppy pad and you constantly take your Dachshund outside to go to the toilet in a spot that you choose. Don't make it too complicated. Don't get yourself too stressed about it. What I would say is this: don't create a big distance in between where the puppy pad is and where your puppy is. Question number 5 is, what food should I buy? And the answer is this: one which is suitable for your puppy, adult or senior. Just because it's a good food doesn't mean it's a suitable food. Trial and error with foods will help you decide which one is best for your Dachshund. I hope you find the questions and answers useful. If you have, or if you have any questions, then please pop them below and we'll get back to you. Thanks very much for watching, and please head over to our website www.thedogscode.com and take our quiz. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care for now. Bye.